sun is shining and I wanted to take some time to talk about my favorite seeds from Baker Creek. Now, I love all seeds from Baker Creek. I have over 200 of them, so finding 10 was very difficult. But these are the things that I grow year over year in my own garden, and I wanted to share them with you guys. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiri Martin, and I'm just a city girl who wishes she was a country girl who is currently living in the burbs. So if this is your first time here, then welcome, hello. We talk about all things micro homesteading on this channel. Micro homesteading with a twist, because I do things a little bit differently. I do grow obviously a lot of my food outdoors, but I also grow a lot of my food indoors hydroponically. So if being more self-sufficient and growing your own food is something that you are into, then please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you will know when I post videos in the future. But let's get down to it. But first, I need to clean these things because I can barely see out of them. My mother always used to say I had the most disgusting glasses ever, and she didn't know how I could even see out of them. And frankly, the woman was right. Okay, so we're good now. So, 10 seeds. For this, I need coffee. Have you seen my mug? This is my favorite mug. I use it every single morning. Just to remind myself to enjoy the little things, because some days are good and some days are complete ratchet. And you still find things to enjoy, namely seeds. But, okay, so I've arranged them from my number 10 through to my all-time favorite. So let's start with number 10. So it's a lettuce. So this is Buttercrunch. I first tried these as, it was actually a free seed from Baker Creek, not this package, but I had another one. I never had like a butter lettuce before. Went a long time without knowing what I was missing. So when I tried this, I just fell in love with it. Like, it does have like a buttery texture compared to other lettuce. It's my favorite for putting on like a BLT, or one of our favorites here is a CLT, which is cheese, lettuce, and tomato, which sounds anticlimactic, but it's actually really, really good. I'll put a link to my blog post with the recipe in the description. But yeah, so if I only had to grow one type of lettuce, it would definitely be the Buttercrunch. Number 9. So this is a carrot. It's a French heirloom. It has orangey red kind of roots. They're about 10 to 12 inches long, depending on your soil. And they're really sweet. I just really like these ones. I had a hard time picking between this and, here's a mention of an 11th, but the Uzbek Golden. I really like this one too. But in the end, it was the Valery that won out. Moving on to number 8. So a bean, a bush bean. I actually only just started growing pole beans last year. I've always done bush up to that point, and it was a bit of a fiasco. I think I've got it better figured out for the pole beans this year, but we'll see. But so most of the beans that I do like are bush beans. So this one is the red swan. The flowers on these are beautiful. They're like pinky white, and they are so tasty and sweet. Like, these don't make it in the house. I'm actually dangerously low. I think there's about 5 seeds. I don't even know. I think there's, yeah. Okay, we got 8 seeds left. So definitely gonna have to be saving these seeds this year. That's one of the reasons that I love heirloom seeds, is because you can save them year over year. So you buy them once, and then as long as you remember to save them, you have them for every year moving forward. So I will put my link up above to my seed saving video. Beans are probably one of the easiest. Beans and peas are pretty easy to save. You just literally let them go dry on the vine, and then you can store them. So these ones, they're also good for tolerating some cooler soil and weather. These honestly are my favorite. They don't even make it inside the house. Like, literally, we just eat them out in the garden, walking by, grabbing them, having them. I'm actually gonna try growing these hydroponically as well, because then I can have them year round. Red swan bush bean, delicious. And just, I tried to get a range too. I probably could have done top 10 just with tomatoes. Maybe I'll do another video on that, my top favorite 10 tomatoes. Okay, but anyways, I wanted to try and have a variety. Number 7 on the list is an edible flower. This is the nasturtium. This is the Orchid cream. They're just so pretty. I love these. The whole plant is edible. You can eat the flowers. They're great to go on if you're doing like Instagram pictures of your smoothie bowl. They would look beautiful in that, or a salad. They're a little bit spicy. You can also use the leaves to make pesto, and the seed pods can kind of double as like a caper if you're into that thing. So very handy plant. Plus they're beautiful. Plus they attract pollinators. So one of the benefits to having nasturtiums in your garden as well is it can act as a trap crop for things like aphids. So basically the aphids are attracted to these instead of going to your other plants. So it can be good to use these, but again, it goes back to where do you plant them. If you plant them in the middle of your bed, then it could be a negative because you could be attracting aphids to your plants. So whenever you're using something like a trap crop, you want to give a lot of thought to where you are placing it. Okay, so moving on to number 6, my first pepper, which is the Poblano. They're a little bit spicy, but not like horribly so. They're great to stuff, and they grow pretty well for me. So if I had to pick one pepper, I really should have done one hot and one sweet. See, it's so hard to just pick 10. So for a hot pepper, the Poblano would definitely be my choice. And can we call this like 10, but have like a 6A and a 6B? Because this would be 6A. And then for 6B, if I had to choose a sweet pepper, it would probably be the Blot pepper. This one is from Russia. I have another one in the mail because I always have seeds in the mail. Might replace this as my top one, but I don't know that yet because it's not here and I haven't grown it. So we'll have to wait. So for now, 6B top sweet pepper would be Blot pepper. I'm so cheating on this list, but there's just too many kinds. There's only so much I can do. I am only so strong. And I'm not strong when it comes to seeds. So moving on to number 5, that would be, it's an onion. It's the Ailsa Craig. So these things are massive. They are actually from Scotland, and they were developed at Colzine Castle. I probably butchered that, and for that I am sorry. In the 19th century. They can get up to 5 pounds. Now, I did not get a 5-pound one, I will be honest, but perhaps this year is the year because I love these things. And like 5-pound onion, man, who doesn't want to grow that? So, Ailsa Craig's would be my onion choice. For number 4 on the list, we have another flower. So this one is the Mammoth Gray Striped Sunflower. These things are massive. They were well above my 7-foot fence. The head on them was huge. Lost most of the seeds, unfortunately, to squirrels. So this year I'm actually hoping to actually get some of the seeds to try. But even without trying them, the amount of bees and butterflies that were brought to the yard with these were incredible. I'm going to line my back fence with them just to bring in as many pollinators as I can. It was like a bee airport out there on these. It just made me happy to just watch all the bees out there going nuts in the amount of pollen that was there. It's definitely something I will grow every single year. I believe I'd seen somewhere that people said if you put a pillowcase over the head once the pollen's all done and the seeds were forming, that it helps to keep squirrels out. So if you have done that or have some other trick to keep the squirrels out of my sunflowers, please let me know down in the comments below because I really want to try these. The heads on these can be a foot wide and they can grow about 10 feet tall, which sounds about right because my fence is about 7 feet and they were towering above it. So would definitely recommend these ones. Number 3, my Charentais melon. I've probably talked about this melon more than a lot of things on my channel outside of tomatoes because I'm obsessed with tomatoes. My top 2 seeds are tomatoes, so no surprise there. But the Charentais melon, I love these things. I did a video on growing them hydroponically. I will link that up above. They are delicious. They're cantaloupe essentially, but this is a French heirloom. And these things are so amazing. If you don't grow them, you would probably never try them. They do not travel well, so you don't get them outside of France for the most part, unless they're grown locally. but they are so sweet, and the smell you get when they're coming ripe is just unreal. They're tiny, like they fit in your hand, so about 2 to 3 pounds. They're so delicious. I love these things. I'm hoping to try them this year. I want to kind of hollow it out and put some good ice cream in. I'm thinking to make maybe a honey vanilla ice cream. If I do, I'll put the recipe down there at some point, but it doesn't exist yet, so maybe it does when you're watching this, but right now when I'm recording it, it doesn't. So these are just fantastic. They actually have their own order of night. They have their own festival. I call them the fancy French melons, which is pretty much what they are. But I will put a link in the description to my blog post going into all things Charentais melons because I love them so much. So hopefully, if you want to try a new melon, you will try this one this year. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So you hate cantaloupes, and then you'll be extremely disappointed and probably shouldn't plant them then. Just saying. So we're getting to the top of the list. Number 2. These simple looking cherry tomatoes are unreal. They are the Sunrise Bumblebee. There's actually 2 other kinds as well. I got the purple bumblebee in a trade over the winter, so I haven't tried that one, but maybe that one will be on my list next year. But for now, just the Sunrise Bumblebee. I sit out in the garden and just eat these. The hubby does not like tomatoes, which, you know, I don't understand that because I could pretty much live on tomatoes. But the man asks me to plant these. So they are so sweet and they're just so pretty. Like, it's kind of hard to see here. It doesn't show it as much, but especially when they're growing, like it's almost like just stripes of red on the yellow. And they are so sweet and they're delicious. So I just sit outside and eat those. These I will grow every single year. And number 1, if I could only grow one thing in my garden, though I can't imagine why that would happen, but if I had to choose a single thing to grow, it would be this tomato, the mushroom basket tomato. I love this thing. It is beautiful. It's kind of like knobbly. And there's almost, I don't know if you can see it in the picture, but there's almost like flecks of yellow on it. Very, very light. This thing is amazing. It has such great tomato flavor. It's great for slicing and just putting on a BLT or a CLT or any other sandwich. That's great for in salad. I also use it to make my tomato sauce because this is a determinate variety. That's actually why I even ended up growing it, because I love to make my own tomato sauce. So I also grow the San Marzano tomatoes, which are kind of like the go-to sauce tomato, which are absolutely delicious. Do not get me wrong. But this one, the mushroom basket, I just find that it's more multi-purpose. Like I said, I can use it for slicing. I can use it for a salad. I can use it to make sauce. And the flavor is just delicious. I have given it to so many people and they have ranted and raved about it as well. So it's not just me. I got it because I was looking for some determinate varieties because I love to make the sauce. And if you don't know the difference between indeterminate and determinate, indeterminates are the tomatoes. Most of your tomatoes are going to be indeterminate. They will grow and grow and grow and grow pretty much until the frost kills them. A determinate variety of tomato kind of grows to a much shorter height and it sets most of its fruit at the same time. So I was looking for determinate varieties, kind of came across this one, and stumbled into the most happy of situations when I discovered how much I loved it. So I can't say enough about this one, obviously, because I've already gushed about it. But yes, mushroom basket tomato, definitely my number 1 on the seeds to grow from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So, oh, and in case you were wondering, this totally wasn't a sponsored post. I just love this company. I love their heirloom seeds. They have such great variety. So it's just where I choose to get my seeds from. So hopefully you guys found that helpful and enjoyed seeing what I'm going to be growing in my garden. Well, I'm going to be growing a lot more than that, but those will definitely be there year over year. So if you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comments below. Also go ahead and tell me what your favorites are. If you've got your top 10 lists from Baker Creek, I would love to see it because I am always looking for new varieties. So thanks for hanging out with me this morning while I have my coffee and talk about seeds. So until next time, just remember that gardening is a journey to figuring out what works best for you and your garden. So until next time, go out there and make food grow.